Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Ash, and today I will be sharing my top 8 tips for public speaking and presenting. If you are not into public speaking, if it scares you, this video is for you. These are things that have helped me and my peers with public speaking, presenting, even acting. I have a background in theater as an actor, and these are things that can easily apply to that. Auditions, cold reads, speeches for your English class. I am in Honors English, and I did a speech today that I wrote and presented for class, and I got a perfect score on it. I will be talking more in my next video about ethos, pathos, and logos, so keep a lookout for that. And I hope this helps. Anyway, on tip number 1 is to keep your feet planted and don't be too fidgety. This can be really difficult, especially for people who tend to have a lot of energy or aren't super experienced with presenting, but there's a big difference between standing solidly like this and presenting and maybe gesturing with your hands a little bit, and then the people who are giving speeches like this and are nervous. It's okay to be nervous. Public speaking is scary, but you seem a lot more confident when you have your feet planted and are grounded and settled into the floor beneath you. Tip number 2, this is something that I see both in public speaking and in theater, is the hand thigh slap thing. So sometimes people will be speaking and they'll make a point and then they'll do this, or they'll be in a scene and then you do that. I've noticed that guys tend to do it a lot more. Girls tend to do more something like that, or like, but it can be kind of distracting, and if you can avoid it and be mindful of it, that's the first step to not. Tip number 3, this is especially important for theater, but super helpful for public speaking, is enunciation and projection. There's a difference between talking like this and not really enunciating, and you probably don't understand what I'm saying. And making your points and projecting, not yelling at the audience, but projecting at a volume that is audible and enunciating. You don't have to over-enunciate, that can be annoying, but making sure that all of your words are clear and audible. Tip number 4, this is less common in pre-written speeches, but something that I've seen a lot, is people who use filler words, like, I guess, so. Things like that are not really great because they can kind of like be distracting or whatever, and it is more powerful to like have a moment of silence or something. I don't know. Number 5 is posture. Especially if public speaking isn't your thing, it can be really tempting to try to make yourself look smaller and maybe slouch a little bit. A lot of us spend a lot of time looking at our phones, and it can be really tempting to stand or sit like this. Something that helps me is imagining that there's a string coming out of the top of my head, and it helps you stay nice and upright. You don't have to stick your chest out an insane amount, just back straight, core engaged-ish, and chin up, but not like that. This will help you appear more confident, even if you're not. Tip number 6 is about fidgeting. Myself and people I know can tend to get really fidgety when we're speaking, and maybe you do too many hand gestures, or maybe you do this thing where you're messing with your clothes, or you're messing with the drawstrings, or you're messing with your hair. It happens, and it can be really distracting. So something I like to do is, with your feet planted in the good posture that we talked about, you can wiggle your toes inside your shoes. And if you're wearing closed-toed shoes, no one will notice, but it will help you get some of that energy out, and it can help you keep your hands still or focused on whatever you're doing so you can make your points in a convincing manner. Tip number 7, if you are reading from note cards or a piece of paper or something, it can be really tempting to be like this and be buried in it, and even if you are having good pronunciation and posture and all of that, it's important to at least occasionally look up and make eye contact with audience members. So instead of like this or like this, something like this, where you can be reading the words of the speech and looking up occasionally, and then you go back to reading the words, and then you were looking up and looking at different people. Related to tip number 7, number 8 is eye contact. Eye contact, especially when you're performing or presenting, can be really scary and intimidating. Especially for neurodivergent folks, we tend to not like eye contact. So what you can do is you can either look at someone's forehead or just look at the space above their head. You can just look around like that, and no one will know that you're making eye contact with them because you're not, but it will appear that you're making eye contact with someone. Or if you have a friend or family member in the audience that you feel comfortable with, you can make eye contact with them and then look around and then down at your notes and then make eye contact with them again, and that can help it be less scary. Alrighty, that was my top 8 tips for public speaking and presenting. If you have any more comments or questions, leave them in the the comment section. Yeah, that thing. I hope this helped. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.